Namaste, beautiful friends. This is Elle with Sacred Union Spiritual Wellness. Hoping you are well today. Okay, so I've taken a little bit of a break and I'm not going to apologize for it. It's necessary for me from time to time to be able to kind of just keep my energy to myself. And I'm just going to share the reason why, because I did a reading and um, it was bleak from what I could see of things that are coming up. I don't know if I'm going to post that reading. I'm sitting on it because I don't want to instill fear. And I certainly don't want to paint a picture of what might come so that we don't consciously manifest it. So after that reading, I just kind of decided I needed to pull my energy back and just focus on me for a little bit. So that's what I did. All right, but I did want to bring you this video today for this solar eclipse in Aries, new moon solar eclipse. And so new moons generally are times that we plant seeds for something new. You know, we're ready with this Aries energy. We're ready to, the analogy would, we're going to plant the garden. We're just going to, we're going to go out, we're going to plant everything. We're going to start our springtime routine. But there's something reining you in, and that's because there's a lot of retrograde energy with this new moon. Now, this is a solar eclipse. This is the second solar eclipse in the month of March. Very powerful, intense times. It really feels like we're on the precipice or threshold of something. And so I'm going to pull a reading that is a collective twin flame reading for this new moon, because I haven't done a twin flame for a while, but I think there's a lot of twin flame energy that I'm picking up on right now. So I felt like maybe this would be a time for some good guidance for you. Let's talk through a little bit of the astrology so that we understand the energies that we may be experiencing. This new moon eclipse, solar eclipse in Aries, is at 9 degrees. 9 degrees is like this awareness. It's a conscious awareness. You can't unknow what you know. And so as we ascend, evolve, whatever you want to, okay, so from the last reading, this evolution was one of the words, cards that came out. But the energy of it is, this is all a necessary process for our evolution, for our ascension as humanity. But things are being revealed, truths are being known. This is the next 2 years. We're going to learn a lot of the behind the scenes things that were going on, a lot of the manipulations we were exposed to, a lot of things that we bought into because we wanted to believe it and not necessarily checked ourselves with it, the resonance of it. And I think one of the energies and what my guides are sharing with me is that we really wanted to be able to trust, because we feel like trust is part of being a spiritual person. And now we have come to that level of consciousness and awareness that we must trust ourselves. That's it. Trusting ourselves. If we don't trust our own higher self, our own consciousness, our own insight, intuition, but we allow somebody else's perception, opinion, information to overrule what we know in our soul, at the soul level, then we have had to learn a lesson about trusting ourselves. So we can't unknow what is going to be revealed to us, what we know now, what we are learning now. And that's going to help us trust our truth more fiercely. Other aspects, we have Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Now, Mercury is retrograde back into Pisces at 29 degrees. This is 29 is the 11 degree, 2 and 9 is 11, but 29 is the last degree. But this is a retrograde back. So we are going to revisit something. We're going to take a look at something. It's one last look back at our old lives, at our old world, at the old structures. Did you miss something? What did you miss? Where did you allow another's version of a truth or another's information overrule what you knew? Because we can't do that anymore. So we have to look at it, and we really have to stare it in the face. Mercury retrograde is conjunct Neptune, and this is the one last look back before the world changes. One last look back. And like I said, there's a lot of retrograde energy, unusual for this energy, because usually a new moon in Aries is the new zodiac new year. This is the new energy. This is the time that we are going to plan and plant the seeds for our next year. However, there is a lot of retrograde energy in combination. We have fire energy with the Aries. We have that Pisces with the retrogrades back into Pisces during this new moon lunar eclipse. New moon solar eclipse. And it's like wink. Just, you're going to wink. And that wink is, it's a blink and a wink, and then the world changes. And that's what my guides are saying. But generally, with this Aries energy, we're like raring to go. Something's reining us back. We have that fire energy we have with the Aries, but then we have the water energy with the Pisces. Water and fire. Now, the water can kind of put out fire, so you may feel like your passion is diminished, or you just feel so many barriers are keeping you from moving forward. But also water and fire create steam. So this is also a time that frustration can boil over. All right. There could be a message from the past. And generally this is going to be about a little bit moody. I mean, with those opposing energies, you just look at fire and water, and it's either, if it's too much fire, it's going to boil. If it's too much water, then the passion is going to be reduced. So you really want to find balance so that you don't feel doused out or boiling over. And just take good care. I do suggest making sure you are hydrated. Okay, so let's look at the Moonology deck. This is by Yasmin Bolin, and this card is Go For It. This is the new moon in Aries, and remember, we're going to feel like we want to go for it. We just want to go for it. But with this eclipse energy, it's an activation, and it's also with the retrograde. Look back and see if there's something you missed, or take one last look back. Now, the cards that came out in the pre-shuffle, the Hermit card, which is, of course, a 9 card, particular to the 9 energy that we're experiencing here. And then the 2 of Wands. And the 2 of Wands that's Aries energy, of course. And this is all about kind of, it's implementing a plan. And you're going to be raring to go and really fired up about it. But you're going to have that retrograde energy pulling you back. All right, my friends, that's what I get from the astrological energies and how I'm experiencing what my guides are showing me. And I'm going to go ahead and cleanse and clear this space. And I'm going to pull a twin flame reading for the twin flames, because I feel like they're going to be experiencing this most intensely. So I'll meet you back here in a moment. my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for all your kind support. And thank you for subscribing to my channel, liking this video, and leaving me a comment. I really appreciate it. If you are a twin flame, please share with me how you are experiencing these energies, especially with this eclipse energy, with all of the emphasis on retrograde and Mercury and Neptune. So it just feels like a very weird combination. All right, so, oh, got a flipper. This is the Rumi deck. This is by Elena Fairchild. Resplendent with Grace. It's a 24 card. That is an energy of kind of releasing and surrendering to the higher consciousness, to this ascension journey. And remember, we're taking that kind of that quick look back to see if there's something that we missed. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just read what pops out at me. Okay, I'm not going to read the poem. That's a little too long. No feet, even the most stubbornly persistent, would be able to withstand the sight of your magnificent beating heart, so wild with life. There's that Aries passionate fire energy. In the sight of that wild heart, you would have to call all your fears close to you, soothing them with your words of love like riled children in need of tenderness and quiet. That's that hermit energy. Take time to soothe yourself with some of this wild energy that feels very frustrating. Then, when tested, you would wake them from their slumber. Then, when rested, you would wake them from their slumber, and they would arise as falcons ready to soar to the height of your most daring visions, hunting for life to feed them. They will ensure the ample grace pulsing within your heart has a chance to come to life in the world and serve love. Yeah. It basically, there's the hermit energy. This is a good time to kind of retreat if you haven't included some kind of retreat time into your spiritual strengthening practice. It's a good time to do it. Not to avoid the intensity, but not to be overcome by it. So we have awareness, crystal clear vision. That's a 3 card. 3 is this it's a new beginning, a new life, and it is this new moon. That is for the masculine energy, for the feminine energy. Reunion, reconciling differences. That's a 10 card. 10s are completions. So closing out the eclipse energy and taking that one last look. Is there something you missed? Is there something you just didn't catch, pick up on, understand, realize, acknowledge, become aware? I just saw the Magician on the masculine energy. Magician is the Virgo, air energy, Gemini, Virgo energy, but that's ruled by Mercury, which is in retrograde. You might find that manifesting is a little tricky right now because of that retrograde energy. So just be patient if what you're manifesting doesn't come to fruition. That might just be part of the retrograde effects that we're dealing. Here's the Death card. That is Scorpio energy, transformation, and the ending of a cycle, and therefore, all right, this is going to go center. Then we have the Page of Pentacles. This is kind of the new beginning, the new physical manifestation of what's coming. Ace of Cups. There's a deeper emotional understanding. The Cups are water signs, Pentacles, earth signs. Here's the Nine of Swords. There's that 9 again. Nine of Swords is the Gemini energy. Back to that Magician energy. Knight of Pentacles, we'll put that here. We got the Page and the Knight. There is some growth here. There is some manifestation. So it is a good time to focus on your financial manifestation. And then we have the Five of Cups. So for the masculine energy, the major arcana that we have is death, rebirth, transformation. This is the ending of a cycle. So they're closing something out, taking that last look and saying, okay, I've extracted all of the spiritual wisdom from this that I can. And they are both new physical, in their body, maybe having some realization. I've just heard that somebody's going to quit smoking, maybe focusing on their health, maybe focusing on, you know, their physical environment. But then there's also this new emotional. So this is the ending of an old cycle, and they're coming through this with that elevated consciousness. And so there's going to be a more diligent focus on their health and well-being and their environment, their physical home. But then also there's this like new emotional energy. There, I get a very starting over kind of energy, and that really coincides with this new moon solar eclipse. And like I said, it's a wink and a blink, looking back for that last moment before the door closes. You know how when you kind of are leaving like a hotel room, this is my guides, you're leaving a hotel room, and right before you close the door and it locks for the final time, you take a glance and you're like, did I miss something? Did I leave something? Did I forget something? That's the energy of this solar eclipse. It's a wink and a blink and a looking back, and it's just, did I miss something? Was there something just not obvious? Did I overlook? Did I forget? So then you're going to feel confident closing the door and leaving the past in the past. And that's what this new transition is. All right, so then here's that leaving the past in the past. There are some regrets, but you know what? Don't focus on the regret energy. You can't change it. There's no point in focusing on that because it's causing you a lot of stress. Focus on, there's a kind of a multiplying energy. Focus on what you can manifest and put your energy there. It feels tangible. It feels having to do with your physical world, your environment, your physical health. You know, gain some mastery there. You know, if you have a bad habit you need to quit, get some support. You know, maybe a nicotine patch or whatever you need. If you know, you need a GLP-1 because you feel like you're overweight. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving advice. I'm just saying this is a time to move forward. And even if you need help, ask for help. You're not to the point of a king yet because we have a knight and a page. That means you are still just trying to move along. Now, this is for masculine energy, which we all have. And as you ascend, you will find that when you keep your masculine and feminine energies in balance, your active and receptive energies, things flow a lot smoother, and your manifestations are a lot easier. So if you're listening to this because you want to know what's going on with your twin, this is what's going on with the masculine twin. If you're just listening to this because you are already at the point where you understand that you have both masculine and feminine polarities within you, and you just want to know how to navigate these energies for your highest and greatest good to get the best outcomes, then this part is focus on you and your physical well-being. And don't be afraid to close the door to the hotel room, but make sure you take that final glance back before we end this cycle. All right, let's go on with the feminine energy. That was the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. And then the kind of the similar energy deck for the feminine is the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann. So let's see what's going on for the feminine energy. So I think in the masculine, there is a new awareness, a new beginning with the masculine energy. Okay, so for the feminine energy, we end up with the 10 of swords. That's the 10 of voices. That to me is Gemini energy. Again, back to that magician energy. And I feel like, let's put this here. Now we've got the page of swords. Libra energy. A high priestess. How perfect. That high priestess is that Cancerian energy, water energy, having to do with the new moon. And there's an upgrade. And if you haven't been feeling that your spiritual gifts are upgrading, they are. Telepathy is really prominent in the energies. You may, like, for example, I was driving down a tree covered lane. It was really beautiful. I was going to pick something up that I won on some auction site on Facebook, and a little squirrel ran across the road. And I absolutely heard him say, "I'm panicked. Give me a minute. I don't know which way to go." And I just slowed my truck down and just gave him a minute and just waited while he thought which side of the road he needed to be on. And I said, "Take your time. I'm in no hurry here. I'm in no hurry." And I could feel the gratitude. So, I mean, these are things that happen now daily for me, and it's trees and plants and animals, and that may be coming online for you. There's the Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Materials, Virgo energy. That's the kind of the practicality. Strength card, beautiful energy. That's Leo energy. And then the Page of Emotions, Page of Cups. So we have the Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Page of Cups. We don't have the Page of Wands. So there's where that action energy is kind of being reined back, that it's just not time to initiate something new. This is a time to just take one last look. One last look before the world changes. Take one last look. You know, again, the hotel room door. Right before you close this cycle, look back one more time. That way you can move ahead in confidence that you didn't miss anything. You garnered as much from that last cycle as you possibly could, and you didn't forget anything, and you're not leaving anything valuable behind. You're only leaving what is no longer serving you. All right, so for the feminine energy, I feel like, number one, if you're a light worker, people are really looking to you, whether they're coming to you for advice, or they're just looking at your social media, or they're just looking at what you're doing to handle this. I know I've been getting text messages from my light worker friends wanting to know, you know, what are you experiencing? How are you dealing with this? What is your perception of what's going on, and how do we move forward? So I appreciate the light worker communication, because it does help to know that it's confirmation that we're all experiencing this in a very intense way. That's what this Ten of Voices is, this Ten of Swords. There is some intensity, but remember, this is completion. So whatever has created this frustration or this, okay, my guides are saying manipulation, and I'm not sure how that fits into the reading, but it might pop up. But there's something that is, you know, whatever has made you uncomfortable, frustrated, or you feel like you just weren't able to move forward with, you're just going to let go of. We have the 10 here with reunion and the 10 here with voices. After this closure, this last look, and then the door closes, then you're going to be able to come into union with your energy, you know, your masculine, feminine, your masculine and feminine energies, your yin and yang. That's really important to stay balanced, because when we can reconcile, for the feminine card, the reconciling the differences, this is the healing part. It means you've learned all the lessons, you've extracted it. And now before you move into the new cycle, you're kind of like, you know what? I'm okay not worrying about that anymore. I'm okay not dwelling on that. I'm okay letting that be resolved. I don't have to reawaken that burden, that anger, that frustration, that sadness. I'm okay now leaving it. I'm okay. It's settled. It's resolved. So whatever has happened between the masculine and feminine, now I'm not going to say this in every case because we're all on our own timeline. You may not be there yet, but you're working toward it if you are working toward ascension. You will get to a point where you say, whatever happened in the past is in the past. And I really am only focused. We're coming to the threshold of only being focused on the present and building the future through our present actions. And so at some point in your journey, you will get to a point where you really don't care what happened in the past. You're not going to forget everything because it helped you get where you are now. Consciously aware. Remember, once you're aware, you can't forget. You can't become unaware. It's impossible. So you'll get to a point where you just don't really seem to care that much about it. It's like, that's so far in the past. It's so irrelevant now. That was a milestone way back there on my journey, and I'm not focusing on that anymore. And I feel like that's kind of this new heart-centered awakening. We have the Ace of Cups for the masculine. We have the Page of Cups for the feminine. This is like a heart center reconciliation. Whatever hurts have been hurt. Now, again, I'm not minimizing anybody's trauma. I'm making a general statement, and I don't want to trigger anybody and say, well, if you haven't forgiven your twin, then you're not ascending. I'm not saying that. And what I am saying is that the hurts of the past are going to be mended, healed, in order, and then you're going to look at them one last time and say, really? Wow, number one, you're going to be shocked that they've healed as fully as they have, because it's like, I don't care anymore. That's because you've healed it. You don't care. You don't care. You're just like, it's not that relevant to me anymore. Why? Because you're more focused on you and your connection with yourself, with your higher self, with the greater consciousness. That becomes the focal point of the journey. And you use the masculine feminine twin flame connection to accelerate your connection. And some people are going to disagree with that, but as you get to this point in the journey, you feel like the focus on the twin flame energy and the physical presence of your twin is less of a dominating energy than it is your consciousness with your twin. And that telepathy you may be hearing your twin. This Eight of Materials, I really feel like this is the practicality, how do I get things done? You're juggling a lot of things, and you're able to multi-manifest. You have become so adept at manifestation through the quantum field now that you are multi-manifesting. And then I feel like that's where this strength comes from. Your awareness is your strength. Your consciousness is your strength. Look at how these two fit here in the reading. Your consciousness is your strength. All right, I'm going to pull 3 cards for the feminine, 3 cards for the masculine. Here's the 5 of Materials. Things being left behind, folks. Things being left behind. There is a serious disinterest in the things that don't work for you. Here we have the Ace of Wands. In the reverse, again, the Wands cards are not prevalent here in this reading because that Aries energy is being muted by the retrograde energy. And then 7 of Voices. 7 of Voices to me is a it's a sabotage kind of energy. It's malicious intent. So here I'm really feeling like, I'm almost feeling like there's a Queen of Swords energy kind of hidden in here. Like there's a part of you that just wants to cut things off for the sake of cutting them off, so I can just move into this new cycle. It doesn't work that way with twin flame energy. You can't just cut it off. That's why the Queen of Swords is not here. This is, and there's, you know, this is spite. This is spite right here. And I guess you can't see these cards. It's just, there's a spiteful energy. There's the caveat. And usually, you know, Spirit gives us a caveat. Don't act out of spite. Okay. Bottom of the deck for the feminine. Two of Cups, Two of Emotions. This is where that reunion comes in. So if you feel like you are, let's say you get a message from your twin because Mercury's in retrograde, and if you're in separation from your twin, you may get a message. And if you do, you know, it's an opportunity to look at something again before the cycle ends and go ahead and take it, but don't do anything out of spite. Okay, let's pull 3 cards for the masculine, and then I'll take some messages from the Lover's Oracle. Let's remember this resplendent with grace. There is a lot of power here in this energy, a lot of power. How are you going to use it? Judgment. That's Leo energy. So we have Leo on the masculine and the feminine. Leo is, and this is about a new beginning and some closure. The karmic debt is paid. And this is, you know, things are going to change. The lesson integration, the awareness, the consciousness has been elevated in the masculine energy. And part of them, some of them may be aware that they are on an ascension journey. Oh my gosh, there's the Hierophant. That's Taurus earth energy, maybe dealing with a Taurus. Venus is moving into, oh, I haven't even checked. Hold on. Oh, and here's the Strength card. 3 major arcana for the masculine energy. I haven't checked on the astrology of Venus where it's going next, so I'll have to do that before the next reading. 3 major arcana. We have the Strength card on both sides, so there's a little mirroring going on, but I really feel like this is that power is empowering. The powerful energies in this intense solar eclipse energies and this little bit of retrograde, there is a lot of power here. And then look, Hangman on the bottom. That's that Pisces energy, Neptune. This is the shift. This is the change of perception. You cannot become unaware once you are aware. And the masculine is becoming more aware. They're starting to see things clearly now. They start, here's with this Hangman energy, they're seeing things in a different way. There was a pause, and if you haven't heard from your twin, you may hear. Remember, your caveat is not to do anything out of spite. You are probably further along in the journey than your twin. The feminine usually is. She usually awakens first. She being energy, not gender. And so there has been a lot more work on the feminine side. But you may get a message from your twin, and I think the first thing that you're going to think is, I remember being there. And then almost like a big pat on the back for you. Oh, wow, yeah, I remember that. I remember being there. And now, look how far I've come. It's almost like it provides you a metric point, a milestone, a mile marker of where you are in your journey. And that's going to be fulfilling for you. All right, let's see. From the masculine to the feminine. The Lover's Oracle, and this is by Tony Carmine Salerno. Criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. There was that magician energy. Remember, I saw that in the very beginning. So this is the caveat. If you're going to, out of spite, go back to the critical energy, we're supposed to be heart-centered here with this Ace of Cups and the Page of Cups. We are starting a new journey from the heart center. And as humanity, we have to. We have to. We cannot outthink the energy anymore. We cannot allow our thoughts and fears to rule humanity anymore. It has to come from the heart. That is the great evolution. All right, one more from the masculine to the feminine. So basically, you know, they don't want to be criticized. They know their mistakes. They are aware. They know what they've done. They are looking back as well. The same as you, looking back before that cycle ends with that judgment card, making some critical analysis of what they did and what's happened and how it has affected the journey. Close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life, regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. And then sexual union. Here we have union again. Honor the place in one another where you are one eternal soul, and there you will find true bliss. All right. So that's from the masculine's higher self to the feminine's higher self. When it comes to matters of the heart, there is no right or wrong. Every choice you make expands your understanding of life and love. Here's that heart center again. You know, messages from the heart. And as you are multi-manifesting, don't forget to, you know, really be connected. Well, first of all, you're going to be manifesting from your heart center because that's when you're multi-manifesting. And you manifest most extraordinary things when it comes from the heart center. Because when it is manifested from love, it has a wider scope of impact than when it's manifested from ego. Sacred union. We have sexual and sacred. Honor and treasure your relationship, for it is truly sacred. And that relationship with self, between the masculine and feminine energies of self, is also very, very sacred. And, you know, all the ancient philosophies address the polarity, you know, the yin and the yang. It has to be in balance. Last card. Okay, we got two. My beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. Here's that last look back. And then power. I told you that there was a lot of power in this energy. You instinctively know what is right for you, and you have the power to say no or walk away at any time. Okay? That is the reading. I hope it helps. Please leave me a comment, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing. And also, if you have questions, please feel free to reach out. I am at sacreduniontarot@yahoo.com. All right, my friends, if you need a personal reading, if this intense energy is feeling somewhat overwhelming and you need a little bit of guidance on what you need to focus on or how you need to navigate it, go ahead and reach out to me at my email. I will schedule one for you. I am all caught up on personal readings now, so I have a clear schedule for the next week. If you need a personal reading, I have the time to fit that in for you to give you some really immediate good guidance to help you out. All right. Thank you so much. I am Elle, wishing you well. And until next time, my beloved friends, namaste.